Second and goal. Hurts calling for the football. He's back. He's looking. He steps up. Still looking. Still looking. He's starting to run. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jalen Hurts.
Well, sometimes you just got to do it yourself.
That's 2 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts.
Hey, y'all. Go Birds to you too, and welcome to the Honorable Mention Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Rogers. If you've listened before, you've heard from our guest today, O.J. Spivey from the Philadelphia Tribune. He's also now doing some radio over at WDAS 105.3 in Philly, which is R&B and some old school. I mean, how would you characterize WDAS, O.J.?
Old school R&B, the legendary WDAS. You know, they've been around, forever, predating our parents, maybe, some people's grandparents and everything, but it's great to be on with the legendary Patty Jackson, Philly's own. She reached out to me and asked me to do, short previews of the Eagles for the season. So when someone like that answers the call, it's such an honor. I grew up listening to her, and also, it's a beautiful thing, and I don't take it lightly.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know you do well over there, so I'm glad you made time. I know you're a busy guy.
Of course. Anything for you, man. You're day one.
Absolutely. Well, it will be a good one for the listeners. We'll get into of course, the Eagles versus Chiefs, which is going to be topic of conversation for everybody this week. I mean, how could it not be? I would say, just to tee it off, I think this is the current rivalry, the NFL rivalry of note at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say rivalry, but it's like because Jazz versus Bulls wasn't a rivalry, but it's like this is the main event. This is the Cavs versus Golden State Warriors.
I would more so call it adversaries. The adversarial matchups, because these are the two teams that we've seen, two of the last 3 Super Bowls. And ironically enough, I put this in my column this weekend. I mean, you look at the last 7 years, the last 7-8 seasons, how many Super Bowl appearances? Kansas City 5, Eagles 3.
Yeah.
And if you look at it all together, 3 Super Bowl wins for Kansas City, 2 Super Bowl wins for the Eagles these past 8 seasons. So these two teams have been the constant. I mean, you throw in the Rams, you throw in the San Francisco 49ers, they got, in the dance a couple times, couldn't win it. That's how important this was for the Eagles for Super Bowl 59, because they're one of the rare teams, with a current roster, current regime that has returned back to the Super Bowl and actually won it. Because oftentimes, as we've seen throughout NFL history, the Super Bowl era, that is, we've seen teams reach the Super Bowl. So, they just get this, or they just do this, that, a third, they can get back. And some never get back. And as we've seen, a couple have gone back, but they haven't gotten it done. I mean, perfect example, this is going back a little bit now, over a decade. You look at what happened with Cam Newton. I mean, in fairness, he probably never, I won't say he never had a team, but he probably had a good enough team to win, because he did have Pro Bowlers and all pros on that team, including himself. But, people always presume that you may get back, and it's no guarantee. I mean, it's not even a guarantee that you'll even make the playoffs the following season, because every year, and I get these stats directly from the NFL, every year since 1990, this even predates the current format of realignment, the 2002 realignment. It and never free fails.
Agency.
Exactly. Free agency, salary cap, etc. There will always be at least 4 new teams that have made the playoffs who missed the playoffs the previous year. This has happened at least 4 teams. It's really inevitable. Cool. It's death, it's taxes, and 4 new NFL playoff teams. You'll almost always have someone that's going from worst to first, all those teams. But getting back to the Chiefs and Eagles, these are the constant. Like you said, these are the adversaries. And again, another thing that I wrote in my column, everybody's ready to write Kansas City off, even if they go 0-2. This upcoming game against the Eagles, which I do expect, you still can't count them out.
No.
Because we've seen year after year after year. Okay. When is Josh Allen going to knock them off? When is Lamar Jackson going to knock them off? Joe Burrow did it once. But other than that, no one has knocked them off.
And injuries happen. I mean, all you need, I always say when I talk about football, the Eli Manning example, not that we don't have to go too far down that, but all you need is a ticket to the dance. All you need is a ticket to the dance, and the things can just fall the way they need to, and you end up with confetti, your color, your team's color confetti. So,
yeah,
who in the AFC is taking them down? We haven't seen it much. I mean, Burrow got him one time,
and this is why I don't jump conclusions. This is why I don't, crown anyone after week one. Yeah, the Chargers manhandled the Chiefs for the most part down in Brazil, but there's no guarantee that the Chargers will sustain that. I mean, you have to default to the Chiefs in the AFC until somebody actually knocks them off. Injuries and all, they look like they're leaking oil. They won't have their starting receivers, I presume, for Sunday. Their offensive line did not look good in week one. But hey, I'll say I still give them the benefit of the doubt, until somebody knocks them off. I'm always with these cliches and these analogies, right? So what did Jill Scott say? So, until you can tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do. However she said, I know I butchered it, but somewhere along those lines.
Until say that again for the people.
You can't, well, see, I can't even say it now because I'm going to mess it up again.
Until you know.
Well, let's go with Ric Flair. To beat a man, you got to beat the man. Let's go there.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, absolutely.
Look up Jill Scott, though. You'll see that.
So OJ, the two defensive linemen for the Eagles and the Chiefs have the best defensive players potentially for their teams, have a big chip on their shoulder coming in this game. You got Chris Jones, who, if not for that play, maybe they still go and beat the Chargers down in Sao Paulo, but they didn't. And then you got Jalen Carter, who doesn't even get to play a snap, forces Jordan Davis into playing 80-something% of the snaps. Which one of them do you think is going to have the bigger of the games?
I think Jalen Carter, just because of his absence from last week. We assumed during his tenure with the Eagles of how much of an impact that he makes. And you see it even more so on film. To watch Jalen Carter in real time, he's unbelievable. But to watch him on film, I hate crowning people and anointing players too soon. But I mean, he is shades of Ndamukong Suh, especially with the attitude, right? He's shades of Sue. He's shades of perhaps even Aaron Donald. And I even go back generations to Mean Joe Green. I mean, he is of that ilk. Warren Sapp, he is of that ilk. That's how much of a different. Yeah, that's how much of a difference maker that Jalen Carter is. Now, Chris Jones, who he's more of an edge, right? So, he can play pretty much every position on the D line.
He's better as a tackle, though. Like, he can play edge, but he's gonna need to muscle the tackle, and that's that kind of is
it's going to be
benefit
key.
of the quarterback.
It's going to be key for Chris Jones because Landon Dickerson, well, he's been a full participant in practice this week, but he was a little banged up. So that's going to be a little interesting to see. But as we saw in the Super Bowl, Chris Jones, he was not a factor at all.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, the only time you saw him was, sobbing and being emotional on the bench, on the
And
sideline.
breathing heavy.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
He might make us eat these words, but what we're talking about what we saw in the last time they played.
Yeah, he's a great player. And if I'm not mistaken, he didn't light the world on fire last week against LA either. But I give the edge of Jalen Carter just on his absence alone, because what are we talking about this week? The snaps that Jordan Davis had that you just mentioned. There was a lack of pass rush early. They got better as the game went on. As far as pressure is concerned, you see they went out, and I know we'll talk about this in a couple. The addition of Zadarius Smith. Why did that happen? I want to wait and see. Okay, how does this pass rush look with Jalen Carter in the middle? Okay, is that going to he's going to naturally command a double team, maybe in a triple team? Does that free up Nolan Smith? Does that free up Jalen Hunt and the other guys? So I want to see that. But obviously, the Eagles didn't want to wait to strengthen their edge, and they went out and got Smith. So and we get cashed out, by the way. So that's a bonus too. That's a win in and of itself.
Yeah, Zadarius Smith is a bit. Now that you bring it up, I mean, I expect to see. I mean, I was going to ask you later how much of him you expect to see. How much of him do you expect to see?
I think because it appears that he got in a full week of practice, and he's so eager and energetic. When he spoke with the media this week, he looks in tremendous shape, by the way. I'd say maybe about up to 25% of the snaps, perhaps.
Hey,
that depends on how the game goes too. And the Eagles love to rotate anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
so
you don't need too many snaps. I mean, if you watch the impact that Mike is having right now, there's plenty of downs where you go see number one, go stand on the sideline, catch a breath. He'd be back in there.
I'm taking a look at the snap count, last week, that we both shared and all.
Yes.
So you're looking anywhere between, for one, Eagles had 61 snaps fully, where, a couple guys played 100%, Zach Vaughn, Blankenship, Mitchell, and so forth. So we're talking anywhere about 60 plays. So if he can give
15, you said 25%. So that's 15 plays.
Oh yeah. So we're talking about 15, 16 snaps, perhaps. Passing situation.
That guy is strong. He's a bull rush type of guy.
Right.
Well, expect to see that.
And that's going to be a key to the game. How much pressure can they get on Mahomes? Can they, and any inkling, or can they get any close to the type of pressure on Mahomes that they got in the Super Bowl? That's going to be very to be seen. We're really going to see. And even though, like I said, KC's offensive line, has not played well as of yet. Again, it's only a small sample size, but that's going to tell me a lot about this Eagles defensive line. How much can they contain and get the pressure on Patrick Mahomes, especially with Jalen Carter back on him?
Yeah, well, a big part of that is it going to be just no step drop, just throw to whoever Adoree Jackson is guarding. I mean, because last week he was barbecue chicken. I mean, they were just licking their fingers. They had barbecue dripping all in their stash and in their beard. It was rough, and I think Adoree Jackson can play well. He has all of it looks like the physical tools. Doesn't exactly look like the best tackler, but those things are, a lot of times can come down to form and all that. But as far as what I was watching, and I was looking keyed in, I was in person, it wasn't looking good, OJ.
Nah, especially with the technique, with that, Vic Fangio even touched on. So I can imagine what he was telling him in the meetings and on film and all. Um, but I want to take it back for you. Last season, remember I kept mentioning Isaiah Rogers, but you weren't as high on him.
He played well.
Yeah,
He ended up
that's
playing.
spy duty,
Yeah.
especially in the playoffs. Even beyond him recovering that fumble in
Mm-hmm.
the snow game against the Rams. But I really thought, even just talking to him throughout the season in the locker room after games and stuff like that, he really wanted to stay here and he was looking forward to that opportunity. And I really thought that Rodgers would have been their diamond in the rough, especially coming from, knowing his story and everything. He was
Yeah.
still young,
Yeah.
still very young and
Lost the
everything.
season,
But on the
but
other
it was a
hand,
mistake.
I
Yeah.
understand, trying to put all the eggs in one basket with Ringo because he was a, significant draft pick for them. But I really thought that um, they should have kept Rodgers for just for this very much. Like if they keep Isaiah Rodgers, we're not even Adoree Jackson's not even in the building.
You brought up Ringo. I didn't want to bring up Ringo, but now that we brought up Ringo, it's pretty crystal clear that Ringo's not the guy. Like they went and got Jakorian
Right.
Bennett. They got Adoree out there getting roasted last week, and Ringo's still on the side, sticking to just the special teams duty. I don't think. Let me look at the snap count here, but I don't think I saw Ringo with any snaps. Are you seeing any
No,
snaps?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't see that either. So yeah. So and he wasn't even he was still active as well. So I mean, you brought up Bennett also. Those are the it's the paper trail, it's the evidence of what's going to become of CB2.
Yeah.
Um, people want Bennett, fans want Bennett to start this week. That's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe Adoree Jackson deserves at least another start because again, you also can't panic too early. Okay, what
Mm-hmm.
was it? Just first game with the team, all those things. Even though he is a veteran, and again, I go back to Jalen Carter's presence, and this is a nuance that people don't realize. Um, Pass rush and coverage go hand in hand.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh yeah.
Because if you can get that good push up front, if you can get that,
That ball's coming out
you can
faster.
get that
I know
pressure,
you
that ball's
gotta
coming
get
out
it out.
faster, or the quarterback's going to be a dead duck, and that does make things a little bit easier
Mm-hmm.
for the corners and for your coverage. Um, you know, I've s- I've seen dominant defenses over the decades to where you'll even hear the free safety say, I didn't have to make a tackle until the third quarter or the fourth quarter or something like that. That's how
Yep.
dominant up front in the pass rush was.
Yep.
The Eagles were so great last year as we saw being the number one defense that everybody was always involved. Um, but that's another thing that I'm interested to see this week, as opposed to everybody wanting Adoree Jackson on the first plane, out of PHL. So that's going to tell me a lot also. And even so, with Kansas City being banged up at the wide receiver position, Rice is
Yeah.
suspended. They're calling Worthy day to day, but I don't think he's going to play.
Doubtful.
With that, he's out. He's doubtful with that dislocated shoulder. I mean, duh, right?
Right.
So,
Come on.
um, yeah, it's going to be hot as heck in KC. So that's probably not going to bode well for anybody with any nagging injury. So
And don't
that's what I would say. It's
and
kind of
if
like
he
a
is
wait and see for me.
and if he does play, he's a decoy. I mean, he's out there doing he's not going to be running anything over the middle and chancing getting in a worse place from
Yeah,
Jihad
they're
Campbell.
thin
Andy's
that wide
leaving
receiver,
that
right?
out there. A piece of cheese.
And
Don't even
can KC run the ball with
no,
Pacheco and
no.
those guys? So
Pacheco has all the tools except for he doesn't have any wiggle. He's a straight line. He's a
and he's on the
fast
smaller
straight line.
side.
Yeah.
So all this is interesting. I mean, if there's if there's ever a week, I mean, we're only talking week 2. If there's ever a time where, the Eagles defense can get their lick back, so to speak, even though they did shut out
Mm-hmm.
Dallas in the second half,
In the second half, yeah.
it was, thanks to a couple of lamb drops. But, a couple
Mm-hmm.
of those drops were also good defense too.
Yes,
So,
they were.
but this week is going to tell us a lot about the Eagles defense. People are maybe stuck on the offense and everything, which again, they did their job, led by Jalen Hurts, all, all this
I'm
BS.
sorry he can't drop 40 and 55 every game, y'all. I mean, I'm sorry that 2 out of the last 3 games he only dropped 40 plus in the 2 of the last
He
3
had 4
games you watched.
incompletions, right? And I think 3 of
Come
them were
on, 19 to
throwaways.
23. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 of them were throwaways. 1 was a drop.
Yeah, there you go. So, nobody's ever satisfied. Well, see, this brings me to another point, and I made this on social media today. What people have to realize, what fans have to realize is winning teams is not good for the sports talk business.
Yeah, the parody it
Right.
allows a lot
So
more debate.
so winning team, sports radio thrives off of losing. Sports
Yeah.
radio thrives off of having fans to vent that, oh yeah, this team sucks, or fire the coach,
Mhm.
fire this, get rid of this guy, or get rid of that guy, and everything. But when you have a winning team such as the Eagles, and you have an elite superstar, Super Bowl MVP quarterback in Jalen Hurts, you have nothing else to do but to conjure up the sublime, from the sublime to the ridiculous.
I was on the Eagles sideline during the Cowboys game. You had fans in the fourth
Oh, you
quarter.
better than me, man. I can't get on the field. I'm stuck in the press box. But
Well,
I know everybody. I know people with trade places.
Yeah, no, I pay. And
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
people were cheering AJ Brown, like
Yes.
chanting AJ Brown. It's just it ticked me off good, OJ. I mean, what did you make of all that? You heard the chant. Did you hear the chants up in the press box?
No, I did not. I did not. So
Yeah, they were happening quite a few times.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and I actually said this off air when I was speaking with Patty Jackson, because she asked me about AJ Brown,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I think he'll be okay, because again, you
Mm-hmm.
understand the team dynamic, and
Mm-hmm.
they showed the video of Nick saying that 1 week he might have 10 catches, the next week he might have 2, right?
Yep.
So AJ's saying all the right things for the most part, but you see little inklings here and there. Of course, he wants the ball. You understand that. DeVonta Smith wants the ball, but you see media guys are trying to chip away,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get them to say something.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go back to that week. I forget what week that was last season, where the whole passing fiasco.
Panthers game.
Yeah, the passing fiasco. And
Yes.
they're in the middle of winning what, 10, 11 in a row, right?
Yeah.
So AJ has to be careful not to. We talk about Jalen Carter not taking a beat, right? AJ can't take the beat.
Yep.
I think DeVonta Smith is as even keel, because maybe it's that Alabama media training and all. But AJ's an emotional guy, and the media
Mm-hmm.
knows that.
Yes,
And they
they
know his
do.
background.
Yep.
They know his background, and also him being a mental health advocate and all
Yep.
those things. But, he has to be careful. The Eagles PR have to be on this. Not that I'm taking their side or anything, but,
Right.
I've gone to school for both media training
Mm-hmm.
and public relations. So, but AJ has to be very careful with this, that, he toes the line, because it's going to keep, the more that he has less than, I don't even say catches, so to speak, lack of catches, or, less than 100 yards or something like that, they're going to keep chipping away and try and get him to say the wrong thing, because, again, controversy sells. And this day and age, the way media is, especially with newspapers, they're going to do everything they can to sell a paper. And this is speaking from a guy who is a newspaper
Part
guy.
of selling papers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hell, people don't even read necessarily, but if that can make for a good headline, please.
Yep. In spite of a win.
Yeah, and in spite of winning, that's the most ridiculous thing about it all. In spite of winning,
they lost a game since over a calendar year.
And yeah, I mean, basically since over almost down in Washington
with the Buccaneers
finished the game. Yeah, that was the last true game that they lost. Yeah, you're right.
Come on, people.
But again, all this people have to conjure up.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another thing that I had shared right before the season started. I don't know if it was Fox Sports or someone, it's good graphic. So I found a good graphic and I shared it. It was a posting of the top 10 highest scoring offenses in the Super Bowl era. And you can probably name some of them off the top of your head. But the interesting
Rams, the Patriots,
one of the coach
Patriots.
years, the 07 Patriots, absolutely. 83 Washington, one of Peyton Manning's Colts teams on there, one of his Broncos teams is on there. What was the year that the Broncos lost
15,
to Seattle?
Manning?
Was that
2015?
No, when they lost when they got blown 13. Out by Seattle, was that 13 or yeah?
When the fumble goes over Manning's head on the first play of the game.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that was one of the highest scoring teams ever, right?
Yep.
And none of those top 10 teams won the Super Bowl. I went back at it. I double, triple checked. None of those top 10 offenses, high scoring teams of all time won a Super Bowl that year. So what does that tell you? There have been some high octane offenses that won, right? But I'm talking about.
But you don't need to be number one
all time.
Yes.
It doesn't happen.
Yep.
And what did Jalen say in America's game? He reiterated. It's really it's really reciprocal, and it's really what do I want to call it? It's reciprocal. It stands the test of time, just like fashion. It always comes back to defense. Defense wins championships. As great as we've seen offenses. Look back at Tampa Bay a few years ago when they played Kansas City with Tom Brady's last hurrah, right?
Yeah.
They won that on defense. Brady had a tremendous year offensively.
Yes.
That year, but they won it with
defense. Took Patrick Mahomes apart in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And, a lot of people were saying Super Bowl 59 was a carbon copy of whatever number that Super Bowl was.
Yeah. Except for Mahomes didn't get a bunch of garbage time points in that first one.
No, he didn't. But, Nick had called off the dogs too. Tampa Bay did. So.
Yep. Finish them off. Who do you think get more snaps this week, OJ? Tank Bigsby or AJ Dillon?
That's interesting.
On offense, of course.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting, but I would lean towards Dillon because he's been here. We're also going to see, because the Eagles never tell us anything, right? So we're going to really see why they brought him on. Understandably so. Shipley's going to be out for a bit, right?
Yep.
So you have to have some depth at running back, but
and how much are they going to Sumerin? So
you don't have a fullback either, so you're down two.
Spot.
Yeah. So I believe that for now, for this week, you'll probably see Dillon with more snaps. But don't be surprised, because if Bigby picked up the offense that quick, he can. I think he is the better athlete than Dillon. So if he's shown that in practice and he's picked up the playbook, I could be wrong, but I'll just say Dillon because of the short seniority.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know I how I feel about the situation with Dylan. I mean, I hope it goes well. I know that if we need a battering ram touchdown and it can't be America's favorite play, I will give it to AJ Dillon. If we need, if Saquon is in a situation needs a breather, I don't feel too bad.
Right.
My concern with AJ Dillon is potentially the durability. Can he play his style with the injuries he's had
Well,
consistently for
that's partly
17
why
games?
that's partly why he's a backup. So,
Yep.
I mean, you just hope that, he doesn't get injured like Shipley did. But
Mm-hmm.
again, this team is going to live and die offensively with Saquon Barkley. So
Yep.
it's hopefully these things are kind of like little sidebars that'll never occur.
Right. So do you have a score prediction yet for the game, or you just want to give a overall what you think is going to happen?
Well, I think this one will be tight because I do believe that Kansas City is going to try to do everything they can not to go 0-2 because that can put you in a hole. But if anyone can come out of it, it will be Andy Reid, and especially his records once they get a bye and all those things. They get healthy, they could figure it out. But I do anticipate a close game. I'm saying somewhere along the lines of 27-21 Eagles. I do expect the Eagles to have a good game offensively, especially in the passing game. Not saying 300 yards, but I do believe that. And again, KC's thin in the secondary too, I believe.
Yeah.
Or either that or they're not playing as well. I didn't see the
They're
whole
not.
game.
McDuffie's not playing as well. He flat out can't guard AJ Brown. So
Well, yeah, that's
I'll go
all
either.
that has been established. And then they lost. Gosh, who's the safety that they lost to free agency? Who was actually one of their best players. Oh gosh, Reed,
Oh, Justin Reed.
Justin Reed. So, but again, the Eagles torched those guys in the Super Bowl. I know it's going to be a different game. I know the Eagles are downplaying it, but I do expect the Eagles to have a good game, passing wise, because I mean, what are the teams going to do? Is default. Here's another thing that's a broken record. People are still asking, can Jalen Hurts beat you? Or stack in the box,
Okay.
right?
Let's go ahead and find out again.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead and so you can sound like a imbecile again. That's basically what they're setting themselves up for. I mean, he's proven that even before they won the Super Bowl. So
Right.
it's just
Broken record.
Stupid conjecture.
I'll give the score. I've been thinking a lot about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Eagles win by more than a touchdown, but not like the Super Bowl. I got the Eagles 32, Kansas City Chiefs 23. My earlier thought today, I'll give that as well. I thought 32-28, but I do think that the addition of Jalen Carter will set this thing off. And I do think, oddly, somehow, some way, Adoree Jackson is going to find his way to having the football in his hands. He's going to get a lot of opportunities. And for some reason, I'm feeling like he's going to touch the football.
That's going
And
to
not
break
just a
people.
pass.
That's going to break fans' brains, man. It's like, oh yeah, now we stuck with him, right? That's what they're going to say. So I already know. I know my people. I know the fan base and everything. They're always predictable as a talk show host, but I love them though. But it's like, oh man, we stuck with him. He's going to be the new Slay.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, it's fun. Watch. I can't wait. I can't wait to.
Adoree Jackson gets a
see.
pick. God forbid if he gets a pick six. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Mahomes,
Eagles fans.
pick six. Oh,
Eagles fans aren't going to want to know what to do with themselves.
Woo. My goodness, he's gonna get a lot of opportunities to make it happen too. Because I mean, I'm not. If I'm Mahomes, I mean,
Who's
sure,
he going to
you're
cover?
Mahomes.
Juju. I would think he could cover Juju, right? I haven't seen all of the matchups, all the possible matchups and all, but I could assume that he could cover Juju.
He's got a huge speed advantage. Even if Juju breaks him off, I guess it would be fine because he can catch up.
like Vic said, it's all about the technique, and he got to be able to tackle. And Vic does require his guys to tackle.
And that might be why if Adoree gets off the field, that's going to be why. Because that run, if y'all rewatch the run, don't mean to throw him under the bus. Adoree, if you're listening, hey, tackling fuel. On that long run that Miles Sanders before the fumble, watch Adoree Jackson on that play.
Oh gosh, I'm saying I have to go back and watch it myself.
Go watch that.
Don't tell Eagles fans though. They don't need to be any more paranoid.
All right, let's go around the league real quick before we let the folks go. Thank you all for listening so far. Go like and subscribe before we finish. You will enjoy the rest of this show. Bears and Lions. The Bears are 6.5-point underdogs. It's 1:00 game. Who you got there?
I would like to think the Lions would at least come to or cover that spread.
Mm-hmm.
The Monday night game, with the Bears and the Vikings and all that. I mean, you talk about back and forth. People were saying that JJ McCarthy sucks, and now they're saying, back to Caleb sucks and all. And I'm already concerned about that Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams marriage.
Too.
Because I just thought Ben Johnson's body language was just, I mean, dude, this is your first time with Caleb Williams on the field.
Right.
Like, you were brought in to make this guy a star.
I mean, really. And you'll be gone. I don't care what your reputation was in Detroit. They are going to get you up out of there before they get Caleb Williams out of there.
Maybe, maybe not. Because, depending on how much they're paying Ben Johnson, I think Eberflus, still had maybe a year or two on his contract. So, I mean, for them, they stole.
It's gotta work. They
stole the offensive coordinator from their arch rival. But Ben Johnson has to make this work. I mean, Caleb has to make it work too. I'm not sure if that's a good marriage there from what I saw on week 1. I could be wrong. But over on the Lions side, another thing that I shared, I think it was from Remember the Titans, who was that Denzel, and he was going back and forth with his players, says, "Oh, not fun anymore, is it? Without Ben Johnson, is it? So that's what Lions fans are feeling. But listen, if Detroit goes down to Chicago this week, I'm listening to sports radio in Detroit on Monday morning. But I think I would like to think the Lions would cover that. But whoever loses that game, that's going to be the sports radio in that town is going to be something.
Yeah, well, they're in a bad. I would honestly, I think probably Detroit's going to be not going to be, because I got the Lions in this one, and I think they cover the 6.5 in this.
Think easily.
I think easily, somewhat easily. But if they say they don't, they get blown out by the Commanders. You rewind back, get blown out by the Commanders, get blown out by the Packers, then lose to the Bears. You're reeling as a Detroit fan there.
Oh yeah, because it's retroactive.
They're taking a step back.
And then what pressure do people turn on quickly? Do people turn on, Mr. Bustin' Kneecaps?
I'm not a big fan of the quarterback, but I don't need to be a fan of I like the Eagles quarterback, but hey, the NFL top 100 decided he was better. So, well, let's go ahead and watch Mr. Goff. The Broncos are 2.5-point favorites at Indianapolis. I'll take this one first. I'll take the Broncos. I think last week's win, the Colts win, was more about Miami Dolphins being pretty pathetic this season. They already having a team players only meetings week 1. I haven't been covering.
That's early. That's super early. So
I don't know if I've ever heard of.
It's probably much worse than we can even imagine. The players only meeting between week 1 and 2. Yeah, that's not good. But this is an interesting one.
It is.
Because how good are the Colts? Was that lightning in the bottle with Daniel Jones, like you said, against the Dolphins, who are like a train wreck right now. And then you had the Broncos last week. Um, I'm not as high on Bo Nix as other people are, but the Broncos play well. It seems like they're always in the game.
Mm. OJ, you were sorry. We had minor technical difficulty, but you were just saying how the 2.5 line, Broncos 2.5 point favorites at the Indianapolis Colts, who just came off a big win last week. You were saying how that was the perfect line. So
Yeah, it is because was that Daniel Jones finding light in the bottle? I think that was that his only playoff year. What was that 02? I mean 22.
The one where the Eagles blew them out in
Yeah,
Philly.
22. Right.
Yes.
Was that light in the bottle? And
22. That was a
right.
Super Bowl year. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and the Broncos, they play good ball, but I'm not all that sold on Bo Nix.
No, me either.
And when we saw the Texans out there and everything, their offensive line looks so bad and all. So this is really a toss-up, but I think I'm going to give the Colts the edge just because they're home.
Okay, that'll be a shocker. Daniel Jones go to 2-0. Oh man,
that would be another early storyline that people will run with.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, they would be wow. That.
All right. And our old friend Shane Steichen.
Oh, yeah. Hey, he would be earning all that money if he could turn around Daniel Jones and make him off and running.
Thank Jalen Hurts, because that's another guy he got promoted and became a rich man.
Yep, absolutely. Falcons on Sunday Night Football. We got the Falcons at the Vikings. Vikings are 3.5 point favorites. What are you thinking about that one?
So that's at Minnesota.
At Minnesota.
Home opener. Ooh, this is a tough one for the Falcons because they can't afford to go 0-2. And yeah, but then again, they play in the NFC South. So yes. I mean, 8-9 might win that division, which Tampa always seems to do.
Yes.
Right?
That's all you need. 9-8, 8-9, 10-7 if it gets real crazy.
I'm really high on Michael Penix.
Me too.
And hopefully that Raheem Morris he takes the training wheels off of him.
Yes.
And they don't have great receivers per se. You still got Kyle Pitts, still waiting for him to star and all, but that's going to be tough going into Minnesota. Probably gonna have a couple 2-0 guys with new quarterbacks. I mean, I know McCarthy's not new, but this is only his second start. But Minnesota does play pretty well at home. So
yeah,
I lean the Vikings with that one. But Falcons got it. Then again, like I said, Falcons don't have to win it, but I know they don't want to start with 1-2.
I'm kind of leaning what you were saying earlier about Penix. I feel like Penix. I know it's very early in his career,
and they need to.
I feel like he's
Bijan Robinson more.
Yes, I feel like it's early in his career, but he's due for a signature kind of win, a nice little Sunday night football in Minnesota with the horn blowing and all that stuff.
Yeah, that would be a good time to do it.
JJ is somebody who's going to be playing for the next few years potentially, because I think JJ is real. I think JJ McCarthy's for real.
So you on the McCarthy train? You on the God forbid I say this term? You're with the McCarthyism? Don't be surprised if they have shirts like that. God forbid.
Oh my gosh!
That meant
Yes,
during
in
that
the
time.
sports context. In the
Yeah.
sports context, yes,
They're gonna do some type of pun on that, I'm sure.
they have to. I mean, yeah, I like the mental toughness that he showed me last week on in that game last week.
Yeah, he's tough, man. He seems like a tough guy. Kind of reminds me of, not in a different way because they don't have the same game, but
Yeah.
and I think that's when I listen to the Buccaneers. I can't stand Baker Mayfield, but he's as a bad steak.
Yeah, he's tough as nails though.
Yeah. And McCarthy seems like he has that type of pedigree. Because I was questioning early on in that game, does McCarthy have an it factor? What stands out to make him a good quarterback? But his toughness just could be enough.
It can be enough to give him a chance.
Yeah, and
give
I
him
think
a little runway.
I was a little worried about McConnell when he became a head coach, but he looks like he can coach.
And they got guys over there. They brought Thielen back.
Yeah, he looks like he's a guy that could really groom quarterbacks or even get the most out of them, I'll say.
Looking at what we saw that went from Minnesota to Atlanta, he had Kirk Cousins playing really well.
Yeah. But some people are saying get Kirk Cousins back. So
no, I think they got one, but I got Penix in this one. Even though I do think JJ's for real. I think Penix is due the Falcons. It's about time. Kyle Pitts due for a good game.
And take them training wheels off.
Come on. Bucks, we were just talking about Baker Mayfield. Bucks are at the Texans. Texans are 2.5-point favorites on the first Monday Night Football game.
Games, man. I mean, maybe it shouldn't be so tough because the way the Bucks play as opposed to Texans play. I know Todd Bowles is probably going to give CJ Stroud send the kitchen sink at him.
Yes, he is.
Not because of him per se, but the lack of offensive line. And Stroud has taken a lot of criticism because people thought he took a step back, even though he, wanted to be. Doesn't take a lot to win the AFC South in these past years either. Even we'll see, how the Colts progress. But yeah, Todd Bowles is going to bring it against the Texans, and we'll see how they do. But it looks like they're doing CJ. No, whether you're a critic of Stroud or not, it looks like they're doing him a disservice. And the way that line has been looking, going back from the second round of the playoffs to last week, Stroud may not get through the season healthy if this keeps going. They have to do something has to give. And that's why I'm probably going to pick the Bucks this week because you're talking to somebody who likes to bring the beef and all. That's a Todd Bowles defense.
I absolutely agree. Everything you said about that one. I think the Bucks going to win on this one. I think CJ Stroud made a big mistake. Even if he decided in his own head he was going to say, "I'm him. I've figured out the NFL," but when you say that, this is a league people are paying mortgages and their mama's mortgages and their cousins, generational wealth. People like a Todd Bowles who will take offense at that. You figure this out?
And did you realize Tampa has won the NFC South 4 years in a row?
4 years, you said?
I believe, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, 4 years in a row. And he just got extended in the offseason. So, I mean, he seems like, thankfully, nobody could win with the Jets, right? But thankfully, what I like about Todd Bowles, he reminds me, he's a Temple guy too, right? But he kind of reminds me of the John Chaney type of coaching school. I can take mine and beat yours, and then take yours and beat mine. Won't be great, won't be impressive, but they're that type of team.
Get the job done, and it fits for Tampa Bay very well.
Right.
Those dudes flying around.
Yep.
Chargers are 3-point favorites going to Las Vegas for the second Monday Night Football game, which some of the people listening may just catch in the morning. But for those who will be staying up watching, especially y'all West Coast folks who can watch both. Yeah.
Like an NBA, like a
yes.
Like
correct.
a LA Golden State.
Yes.
So, the Chargers, they manhandled the Chiefs in week 1. And, then you have the Herbert fans, they're out of the woodworks and everything like that. Well, with him, I don't care what Chargers do this year. He can't throw 4 picks in the playoffs. And that was in Houston, by the way. But, Vegas, they played, they beat the Patriots, right, last week and all.
The Raiders, yes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean the Chargers. I mean, the Patriots weren't very good, so you kind of take what the Raiders did last week for a grain of salt. I know Pete Carroll's coaching. Geno Smith is still a quality quarterback.
Yep.
But, Chargers look pretty good, and they've always had a decent defense. But if they could stay healthy and put it all together, I think the Chargers will be 2-0 after this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Chargers are just flat out the better team. I take that 3 points and some. I do think Geno Smith's a quality quarterback.
Certainly with the 3, Matt. Right.
Yeah. I also think Ashton Genty will have a better output this week. Brock Bowers, monster. But I just think that this is a year where the Chargers really do start pushing the Kansas City Chiefs for that division crown.
What were they telling Jalen Hurts a few years ago? No more excuses. No more excuses for Justin Herbert.
For real.
If there's a time where you can slay the dragon, dethrone the champion, Kansas City Chiefs, no more, because he's supposed to have his coach right now, right?
Yep.
So they're pretty healthy
resources,
right now.
Running game.
No more excuses.
So, all right. Well, thank you all for listening. Once again, go follow OJ over at OJ Philly on all the social media. Check out his appearances on WDAS. Go subscribe to the Philadelphia Tribune. Go like and subscribe. With phillytrib.com. phillytrib.com. All right. Well, OJ, thank you. And I'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Matt. Always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, sure.
It's 1st and 10 at the 11. 8th penalty by the Eagles. On 1st down, handoff goes inside to Sanders, and he goes no place. He fumbles the football, and it's picked up by the Eagles. Picked up by Quinyon Mitchell. Now, did he lose it, or did his knee hit the ground first?
He fumbled the ball. Miles Sanders fumbles the ball, gives the Eagles a huge opportunity here. And this game comes down to turnovers so many times that this could be the difference in the game.